Today's Toy Spot, we are having a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Infinite Series Odin Series Thor. Of course, if you're going to have an all-father Build-A-Figure wave, you've got to include Thor somewhere in the mix. I'm actually surprised that Loki didn't make an appearance. Thor comes with his helmet, not really sure if it's removable yet, and he comes with his hammer Mjolnir. He also comes with the leg, one of the lower legs, that's the way legs are usually presented, is the lower leg. One of the legs required to build All-Father. Side of the package features some black and white artwork for Thor, equally so on the other side of the packaging as well. Down below also the Avengers Initiative, which actually I think is something that the other figure, I don't think Hawkeye, maybe Hawkeye did have that, I'm not quite sure. On the back of the package, Hark, these yells come with a sword, we'll have to investigate that a little bit more. The brief read-up, and I do mean brief, says the Norse god of thunder crushes evil with his hammer. That's all it says. The rest of it is Francais and Spanish. Something else as well. 8 figures, 7 figures I should say, with the 8th figure being All-Father. But 7 figures will be what you would require to build the All-Father. Now truthfully, the 2 figures on the end, Captain Marvel and Scarlet Witch, technically you only really need one of them, but both of them, luckily, at least come with different heads, which is the one thing, the one correction I'm glad that Hasbro did, as opposed to previous Build-A-Figure waves where we got, first of all, half a wave, and then we had to wait the other month or so to get the other half. But then on top of that, you might already have pieces that the new figures have, so it really is useless. At least give us alternate versions of whatever pieces we already have so you can mix and match. It's worth the pickup. It's like your reward for, I'm buying Scarlet Witch. I'm buying Scarlet Witch! Your reward, sir, is that you have an alternate head. See the 2 different heads there? We'll look at that further. Be sure to head over to www.hasbro.com/Avengers if you want to check out more Avengers stuff from the folks over at Hasbro. That being said, Spot's going to take a break and get this opened up. When we come back, we're getting a better look at Thor. Don't go anywhere, guys. There's more heading your way. Stay tuned. Just before we talk about Thor, let's have a look at the leg that comes included with the piece. It's not a bad looking leg. I could really sit here and try to play up the importance and how cool this leg looks, but truthfully, nobody cares. Nobody cares until it's actually part of Odin. So we're going to reach off camera, and somewhere in there, there it is. I was going to say somewhere in there is the socket that you plug the leg into to give us Odin. Now, we have to kind of just tuck it underneath his skirt. Just kind of plug it into place. Bada bing, bada boom. Yeah, we've only really still got a torso and a leg. But we are making progress. Appreciate the small victories versus the big victories. Small victories were a little further along than where we were. Moving him to the side, we will add more to him in future videos. Thor did in fact come with a sword. Nice looking sword. It seems a little sparse in the way of paint. Yes, I understand it's got a little bit of brown on the handle there, but I don't know, the rest of the blade just comes across a little too plasticky for my liking. I wish this was painted like silver or something like that. It's not a bad looking sword. I really do like the sculpt on it. It's quite a beautiful looking piece. And though I may not necessarily display Thor with a sword versus his hammer, I do like the look of it. Maybe, you know what? Maybe this is something I can give Odin once Odin is completed. You never know. Maybe that's actually what they had planned for the sword all along. If it isn't, sword, that is the destiny that I bestow upon you. You will be Odin's sword. I bestow upon thee Odin's sword. Moving along. Next we have the other accessory that comes included with Thor is his hammer Mjolnir. It's a nice looking piece. I kind of wish this paint was on the sword. It looks like it's been, well, it looks like it's a black plastic hammer, but then it looks like it's been washed with a silver, like a metallic silver. But they've brushed it on as opposed to painting the whole thing. So you can see like the little areas underneath the silver that are still showing the black. Or just even one better, it could have just been a completely gray hammer, and then they painted it both silver and gave it a little bit of a black wash. Either way, it's a really nice, pristine looking piece. It looks aged. Some hammers don't always have that successful treatment. Some do. I think this is a successful Mjolnir. You can take it and put it, of course, into Thor's hand. That's where the hammer would belong. You could, of course, give it to other figures as well, but really, truthfully, what other figure can wield Mjolnir? I'm sure somebody will tell me down below. So-and-so can wield Mjolnir. Okay, so-and-so can hold Mjolnir. I can hold Mjolnir. No, I'm pretty sure you can't, unless it's a toy. Okay, so having a look at Thor. I would like to call this, I would like to dub the Jeep Thor. Jeep Thor? What are you talking about, Spot? Thor here reminds me of a Jeep. He's not the most attractive of things, but he gets the job done. Just like Jeeps. Some people love Jeeps. Some people think Jeeps are beautiful. Jeeps have utilitarian purposes. They're there to do a job. That's essentially what Thor's doing right here. I don't feel like he's the prettiest of Thors. Let's bring the camera in and show you guys the face. He kind of looks like, I don't know what it is. The last little while, Thor's questionable. More importantly, I guess, Marvel Legends Thor's, they haven't really done the greatest of jobs when it comes to his face. I feel like even, in fact, this Thor has been used before. We have gotten maybe this Thor before, but he doesn't have a really pretty face. He either looks like Quaker Oats, or he looks like an old woman. I'm not quite really sure which one. He kind of looks like Estelle Getty from The Golden Girls. Okay, maybe that's reaching a bit. His body is decent. He's kind of got like the Marvel Now body, or at least costume-wise. Some decent silver on the side accents of his legs. Some silver on the front studs, front bolts of his uniform. And then the big long, and I do mean long, big, flowing cape. It's a dense plastic. You can still manipulate it. You can still move it and whatnot. I like the coloring that they put into the creases of the cape. It just kind of brings out the details. I do like that. Also, to answer your question, the helmet is not removable. In fact, not only is the helmet not removable, there's a little bit of paint just splotched in there. He's bulky. I will give it that. He is a bulky Thor. He's not a lean supermodel Thor. This guy is, again, he's a Jeep. He's there to do the job. I do say, though, I do think he looks decent with the hammer in hand. And he has like a little loop on the side, which I guess you could take the sword, put that in there if you so wish. Or you can also take the hammer out. And I suppose you could also put the hammer in there as well. You could do whatever you want. For those, the 50% that say you have to have it with the sword in there, I say no. I say nay. The other 50% that would believe that the hammer is supposed to go in there would likely agree with me. He's very veiny, very muscular. Nice big muscular arms on this Thor. He won't win Sexiest Man Alive, but I gotta say, at least this Thor, he gets the job done. In the way of his articulation, Thor does have a ball joint in the head. Very limited, though. It is very limited. You can't really move the head up and down. You can move it left and right, but very restricted by not only the hair, but this back flap of material that's on the back of his helmet. Kind of really limits him. He does have an upper torso crunch, which is at least good. Nice big ball hinge joints in the shoulders for these tree trunk arms that this Thor has. He has swivels in the bicep area. Single bend in the elbow. However, you can also rotate at the forearm. You rotate and hinge at the hand. And then when it gets to his leg area, he does have a, not really a swivel at the waist, because most of the swiveling really relies on the torso section here. Legs do go forward, do go out, swivel at the thigh, double bend at the knee, which is nice, and a rotation and hinge in the foot. I don't want to be that guy, you know that guy that always says, geez, it's a shame that he didn't come with the display stand. I was thinking it, I'm not going to say it though. Thor's a good looking comic version of Thor, which is essentially what you would really want for Thor. He's a good looking figure as a whole. I just don't find his face is all that attractive. It looks like he got hit with a bag of doorknobs. Very squishy in the face as well. But still, a good looking Thor. I'm going to give Thor here an 8.5. Today's Toy Spot, we're resuming our looks at the, we were having a look at the All-Father wave of Marvel Legends Infinite series. We're having a look today, of course, at Thor. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more videos heading your way as we continue our looks at the Marvel Legends Odin series. Thanks for watching as you always do. I'll see you next time.